Holy guacamole. Today, the CPI numbers came out. The market up, the market down. What a day. What a time to be alive. Something happened. Something happened that we talk about all the time here on the channel. Something very important to remember, to think about. What is it? Think about it right now before I tell you. If you have the brain power to think about what happened today that we always talk about happening. What is it? Let's get into it. What's going on, guys? So this morning we had a big move after the CPI numbers. We pulled back, and guess what? We filled the gap on the NASDAQ on the SPY. We had a big, huge gap up this morning with the CPI numbers, and then the market just got faded and dumped and dumped and dumped at open, and we filled that gap almost like within the first 15 minutes here on the NASDAQ and on the SPY today. So the QQQ and the SPY both filling that gap, and we talk about this all the time. The gaps love to get filled. I obviously didn't really capitalize as much as I should have. I still made money today, but I really should have believed the idea that we always talk about, that gaps love to get filled. Just because the CPI report comes out, the market goes up pre-market, does not mean that the gap is just magically not going to get filled. Sometimes it doesn't get filled right away, but today when we started selling, it was like, hey, this thing's gonna get filled. The way that it was selling, how fast it was selling and all that fun stuff. I mean, it was literally just going for that fill on the QQQ today. All right, so it's currently power hour right now, and I'm thinking that there's a really good chance we see the 40s here. The problem is I'm trying to wait to get confirmation that we haven't pushed all the way back up yet, or like maybe a little bit more of a push back up here. But watching this 62 level, we possibly just break right through here. Let's see, I'm gonna get short there with my stop right above the 72s. And then see if we can't get this move down there to the 40s. Looking at the Bookmap right now, you can see that 42 level down there. Right there, 42. I think that is our target. So we should be able to get to the 42s, I think, no problem here. And right now, we're selling. So we're looking for this move down below the low of day. And we'll look for 42s, possibly even lower than 42s, depending on how this kind of ramps up or ramps down at this point. So right now, looking to see if we can't sell through the low of day at the 50s. The Bookmap giving us our target there at the 42s. Pretty much all that liquidity sitting down there at the 42s right now. All that liquidity down there at the 42s. So this is why, this is the way, this is why I think we get through 50s. Market just selling off here end of day. So we had the CPI number this morning. The gap got filled. Then we had the FOMC minutes come out. And right now I'm kind of holding up there 55s, but looking for this to just sell right through there on the Bookmap and then get down there. Let's go for that move. Overall, the trade is really lining up beautifully. Right now we're below the 21 EMA. We're about to break through this low of day. Well, hopefully we're going to break through it. And then our target down there at the 40s. The ES moving down to that pivot point, everything just selling right now. So if we break through the low of day, I don't see how we don't get into the 40s there. Got about 30 minutes till the market closes, 30 minutes till the market close here. And we're looking to see if we can break through the low of day at the 56, 54 level right there. We're going, baby. We're breaking it down there into the 49. Looking for that 40. I'll take 42s here. If we can just go right there, 48 bouncing. So now we're going to move my stop to guarantee we can't lose no matter what. We're guaranteed we lock in profit here. Obviously, we want that move down here into the low 40s. Like I said, my target with that 42 level, that's because of the Bookmap here. And there's a bunch of liquidity sitting now, like 42, 43s. So I'm going to put my order like right there at 44. And that'll be locking in $2,000 here. So just going to let this momentum keep going the way it's going right now. The market wants to sell down, and we're going to ride that momentum down here. So we get the breakthrough 48 next, and then try to get that cover down there at 43. Everything lining up absolutely beautiful. You can see all that liquidity sitting there on the Bookmap, 42. So that's why I'm looking for 43. We hit 46 right there. Let's get it all the way. There we go. Getting filled, 43.50, just like that. We saw it all on the book map. Everything was right there on the book map. We saw all that liquidity. There's no liquidity to the upside. No liquidity to the upside here. You can see there's just like, no, there was no liquidity to the upside. All the liquidity was to the downside there. And we got filled right pretty much at the low of day there. Oh my gosh, that was literally right. The low of day, 12,943.50. We got filled at 43.75 right there. 43.75 fill. The low is 43.50. That's pretty amazing, actually. I was actually moving my order around when that happened, got filled there. But you can see my entry there at the 65s, down there to the 43. We saw it all on the book map. You can still see all that liquidity sitting there at the 40s. Now we're trying to push back up here, which is kind of thinking, okay, there probably is going to be some bounce back up after just been selling. So I wasn't going to get too greedy here, but hey, we'll see what happens. Maybe the market just keeps going. There's a pivot point on the QQQ at the 312 area, so that could kind of keep going down, but right now everything lined up. We had the signal earlier as well here. We had the MACD was bearish. We had the 21 EMA, we're below the VWAP. I mean, everything lined up perfectly for our strategy here, and that's how we do it end of day, locking in $2,000 there on that trade, showing you guys the entry, the exit, the thought process, and basically top to bottom. I mean, what else could I do? I showed you everything. I showed you exactly what my target was with the book map. I showed you the entry. I showed you the process, what I was thinking, how I was thinking, and all of that very, very much fun stuff. And you can see now on the book map, a little bit of a pushback up. See how that liquidity is coming back in here to the upside now? So 60, and see how that, now we're searching for that liquidity. We're pushing up to that liquidity there. Before, earlier, remember we saw there was no real like big liquidity to the upside here. So as that liquidity came into the upside, well, guess what? Now the market pushed back up and is now sitting there at the 60s. So we think, okay, what's going to happen here? I would say maybe we kind of break through that 60 level here and then possibly try to push back up into the 60s here after hitting the low there. But right now, kind of in between these two areas of liquidity. So there's a battle between the bears and the bulls. Who's going to win? And that low of day down there at the 42s. You got liquidity down there at the 36s. So will they kind of double bottom here and get through that 60 area? Looking like it. Trying. Look at that. Just like a magnet, man. Like, come on. Up there to the 60s now. And then you got that 70 area up there next. So this is, I mean, I couldn't have called it anymore. This is all real time in the moment right now. This is not obviously in hindsight. We're literally trading this action right now. You can see the market push back up there to the 60s, doing exactly what I fucking just said it would do. Sometimes I got to play these reversals as well. That was almost too good of a reversal. Could have got long down there at the bottom, try to get that push back at the 60s, but it is that kind of push back up here. We got the MACD switching up on the 1 minute chart, that 21 EMA. So there's the push back up now. I was kind of expecting a pushback up here end of day, but also saw on the book map all that liquidity sitting at the 42s and none of that liquidity to the upside. Now we got all this liquidity to the upside, and look what's happening. We're going 72, we're going 80. The liquidity is acting as a magnet, and we're pushing higher, right? The magnet is coming. The magnet's pushing, baby. The magnet is pushing up there.